Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Bites Weekly Show. As always, I'm your host, DC, and I'm always joined by my best buddy, Ketsorin. What's up, Ketsorin?
That's me. Nothing, man. We were talking about Tales from the Crypt, or I guess we were talking about TV shows that kind of like weirded us out when we were kids. And I'm sorry, what was yours again?
I had two unsolved mysteries kind of freak me out just because the alien possession and shit, and then the one that really got me though was America's Most Wanted, because I always thought there'd be like a fucking serial killer in my linen closet or some shit. So yeah, that one really got me.
You're going to bed, or like you're gonna take a shower, and I don't want to open this towel closet. Like,
Yeah, it really got me. I don't know why, but that one in particular. And you said Tales from the Crypt was yours, right?
yeah, the Crypt Keeper. I don't know. We were talking about like what was his name, and I also just tried to Google it. The name of the Crypt Keeper on Tales of the Crypt or whatever, and nothing came up for me. So
I know he was called the Crypt Keeper, but speaking of chat, John says hello nerds, and also, dude, Unsolved Mysteries was weird. Hell yeah, it was weird.
It was weird.
It was super weird.
It was definitely.
It was like my introduction to weird shit growing up.
There was, what was it? It was kind of weird stuff, but I do miss it. Ripley's Believe It or Not. The guy that was like, what are you doing when it's 3 a.m. and you don't have a way out of your bedroom? Like,
who was the host of that? I forget.
I don't know, but I'm going to say
famous,
it's Ripley.
I think. For a while, though, it was, yeah, that was a good show, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It was.
I went to the Ripley's Unsolved Museum. Oh, Jesus. And,
are you okay?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. About that cough. But anyway, in Tennessee, and it was terrible. In Pigeon Forge, yeah, it was just like tourist trap. So everything in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg is big old tourist trap. If you ever go to Tennessee and those two tourist locations, they have the big strip. It's like kind of supposed to be like Vegas in a way, but it's just it's awful. And I've been to Vegas. So a couple things. First of all, hello Mike and hello Alan. Thanks for joining us as well. Quick shout out to Alan for hooking me up with Fire Red for Game Boy Advance. Just out of the kindness of his heart is like, yeah, I don't have Game Boy Advance to play this on, but I told him that I did, and he's like, yeah, I'll just send it to you. And I'm like, no, and he's like, nah, bro, I'll just send it to you. And I'm like, okay. So,
Gimme.
I never got my hands on that game. It was one of the ones I missed out on, so I'm gonna slowly rebuild my collection. So thank you, nice. Alan, my guy. Hope you're enjoying California, brother. But anyway, yeah, this cough. I had a sinus infection starting like Sunday night, and yeah, I'm finally feeling great now, and honestly, I'm on adrenaline because I've actually not sick for the first time in 4 days. But it's definitely a sinus infection. Ronan, my son, had it too. I miss my allergy medicine, and literally, if I miss it once, this shit fucking happens. Like
dude, clockwork. I know all about that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Mike. He's my DM now.
That's true.
And I'm gonna give him a run for his money. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm loving it. So thank you. Appreciate it. But allergies, man. Oh, yeah. I hate them. I had to get hospitalized for a sinus infection. That is nothing to joke about. No. But I use a neti pot, and for me, it works. I hate it, but it works.
I really don't do well with stuff in my nose. Like I can't, like, I'm not a huge fan of the nasal spray stuff either. And they're like, you should just do that like daily. And I'm like, no. And honestly, I don't even know where my nasal spray is. I should, especially this time of year. For some reason, winter gets me harder than any other season. I don't know why.
Yep, dries you out.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to keep it moist.
Moist.
Oh my God. I wonder how many people are going, and one person is going, tell me again.
Yeah, Kristen. Some ASMR. Moist.
Hey.
Hey, so anyway, we have a really awesome show for you guys tonight. In the second half of our show, we have a special guest, Get Excited Designs. Oh, we got some
True.
sweet music playing too. Uh, Get Excited Designs. I bought some art from her at GalaxyCon in Columbus. This is Tokyo Revengers, which season 2 actually comes out shortly, the Christmas arc. Yeah, she does some really great work. I'm really excited to have her on the show. So we'll talk to her a second half, but it's been kind of a slow news week. I mean, there was the Ant-Man Quantum Mania second trailer that came out, and honestly there's been like no buzz around it because it just is like meh. The trailer itself was the only other thing I want to bring up is I did watch The Menu on HBO Max. It's
the menu.
The Menu, yes. It's a dark comedy / thriller suspense type movie. Not really thriller, more suspense, I guess you would say. All-star cast: Anya Taylor-Joy, the guy that plays Beast in X-Men First Class. I can't think of his name. Yeah, there's a bunch of actors you'll recognize in this movie. But anyway, the guy that plays Voldemort, he's the main character. Yeah. I highly recommend it to anybody that likes dark humor. It's there's some innuendos and parallels to some stuff, and it's a good movie. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So Letterboxd.
Okay. Well,
Alan says The Menu was so bad. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead. I disagree, bro, but yeah, go ahead. What did you watch?
I watched Lookism on Netflix, and I don't know who the creator was. I just watched it, and it's like a 1 out of 10.
What is it? I'm not even heard of it.
It's an anime, and it's basically like a kid somehow he's bullied, and then one day he wakes up and he's in like this nice masculine, like hot looking body.
All right, 30-second timeout. This is called an isekai. An isekai means that it's a very common form of anime. It is when you wake up in another world, or you're suddenly transported to another world with your same self and personality and all this other stuff, but you get like these extraordinary traits in this other world, and it's like a completely different world, and no one knows who you are. That's an isekai. So you watched an isekai.
Well, he wasn't extraordinary other than it was just a good looking body.
Yeah.
And he was fit as in like, athletic, but that was the body, not him. And I don't know, like it was just all around bad. You're supposed to, I got the impression you're supposed to feel bad for this main character. I don't remember his name. And he is an asshole. Like he's an asshole to his mom. He's an asshole to people. And then he's like, oh, now I realize what it's nice to be a nice person now that I'm in this good looking body. And it's like, yeah. All right. I don't know why I finished watching it, but hey, I would say 1 out of 10 because some of it was funny. Like there was like 2 parts that were funny, but whew.
What's it called so I know to avoid it?
Lookism.
Okay, so hear me out. Let me be your Animentor. Everyone, when they're starting out in the anime world, needs an Animentor because there's a lot of bullshit you can watch, and I've been through some of the bullshit, and I can spot it from a mile away. Like I can tell just from the promo material whether an anime is going to be worth a shit or not most of the time because I've been through it all. I had an Animentor when I got back into the anime scene. I was my best friend Morgan's Animentor. It got him into Attack on Titan, and now he could be my Animentor all over again because he watches way more anime than I could ever dream of watching. He's well surpassed me at this point, and I had a big head start on him. So yeah, let me be your Animentor.
I have seen some good animes. I would like to think that I have like a good little niche of good animes. I just don't watch a lot of anime now.
Well, let me give you a short list. Let me give you a short list. We'll have an anime show, and I'll go through. We'll put it on the forefront. I'll do an anime show, and I'll take everybody through it. I'll be everyone's Animentor.
You got it, dude.
Where's Bobby? He's gonna talk shit about my tastes, no doubt. But we agree on a lot of stuff, so I don't think he's here. I messaged him and I didn't see him, but Yeah, Overlord. Yeah, actually that's one I haven't watched. John says she watched some of
Mm.
Overlord with me. I haven't watched that one, but I've heard great things, and I do need to watch it. I know Mike, who is in the chat, also really likes that anime.
If there was, that is a pretty good one,
That's
and
also
there's
an
one
isekai.
line. Yes, 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 and that one has one line, and I think it's in the first season. And he's like, and I'm a hypocrite. And dude, I had to pause the whole thing and like I cried laughing because it's a serious moment. And he's like, well, I'm a hypocrite. And it broke me. Like it broke me for like about 10 minutes. And I was crying laughing because it was a good moment, but it was so silly. And I mean, it is good. It is good. Check it out.
Okay. A couple of chats here. Alan says FMA Full Metal Alchemist is the GOAT. If not for Cowboy Bebop, I'd agree with you. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my second favorite anime of all time. Love it so much. Mike says Overlord, great anime. The only anime where I wanted the main character to fail. So nice.
He's an asshole, like, but it makes sense. I mean, just watch it. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So we only have one main topic tonight before we get to Get Excited Designs, and it's really been catching the internet on fire. And it's
can we?
Yeah.
Can we watch? Can we watch first the new trailer? It dropped 3 days ago, I think, for Quantumania. Can we watch that? It's like a minute something.
Sure.
And then we're gonna get into the internet being broken over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably it's about 2 weeks.
2 days ago. I'm assuming this is the one. Official IMAX trailer. Yeah, let's do that. All right, here we go.
No, I want to watch the fan made one.
Oh yeah. All right, so 2 days ago. I'm assuming this is it. If it's not, then
yeah, that looks like
forgive me.
You're an interesting man.
Okay.
Scott Lang.
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang.
You're an Avenger.
Side note: I really like the actor that's plays Kane.
You have a daughter.
He was the main character in
Like me.
gosh, that HBO show that got canceled, the Lovecraft one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I really liked that show. I was surprised it got canceled.
It was really good.
I'm the man.
Hell.
Who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft,
yeah, that's it.
Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
That's it.
They can rewrite existence.
Very good show. Highly recommend, but don't expect a season 2 because it got canceled.
Yeah, man, that was pretty good.
Trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Kind of weird they changed the girl who plays Ant-Man's daughter, by the way.
That's what D&D mom said when she watched the trailer. She was like, "That woman looks way different and way younger now."
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but whatever.
Call a life will end.
Recasts happen, I guess.
This is all my fault.
I mean, this is
You may not want her to
Hey,
watch
if
this.
you were like, if you could go into, all the watchers right now, if you had like a suit that could make you like all smaller and stuff, what color would it be? And like, what would it generally look like?
And what would you call yourself?
And what would you, I want to know at the end, what would you call yourself?
Sorry, I'm coughing into the mic, everyone. Trying to turn away.
I'm sorry, Cassie.
Jesus Christ.
Every time you cough, I'm gonna like dub you, so I'm gonna talk for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
February 17th. I honestly did not realize it was that close.
Yeah.
I'll definitely go see it. It definitely looks like a movie you need to see in theaters for sure, as most Marvel movies are, to be honest. I don't know. I really enjoyed the Ant-Man movies. The first one especially. The second one was just like okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like amped for that movie, but I'm always excited to see a Marvel movie in theaters. So yeah, you want to get into the main topic of the night?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so all the hubbub, all the talk has been around the D&D world the past week or so, because Wizards of the Coast pulled a Wizards of the Coast.
Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Lest we forget the ultimate baddie up here.
Yeah, that's true. The corporate monster that is Hasbro. So basically what happened is, so as we
just real fast, I'm sorry. You started off like a kid going, so basically what happened was my friend, he said that his friend,
yeah,
like, that's how you're starting this.
well, I'm trying to get my thoughts together because it's a lot to unravel.
Yeah, it is a lot.
The basic premise is D&D got really big really fast because of COVID, because it was a way that people got together, and me included. Thank you, Mike. And long story short, Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro saw it as they weren't making enough money from the boom, is how I interpret it, because they saw all these different campaigns and people using their intellectual property to make their own version of D&D, and they weren't getting paid for it. And Wizards / Hasbro took that to heart and said, we need to make money from this, is essentially what they said, in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah.
What was it called? The the GL?
It's the Open Gaming License. So
Yeah.
it's OGL,
OGL.
and they are going from OGL, Open Gaming License 1.0 to 1.1. They were going to supposedly release this when D&D 1 was released, which is coming up pretty soon, but now it's on hold because there's been a whole other thing. So essentially, if I can kind of take this, the OGL that was released, it was leaked from an employee, and it was basically, it wasn't a draft, it was a contract, it was an agreement saying, hey, we are going to start putting this forward no matter what.
Yeah.
And
I'll just interject that is literally a legally binding contract that
right.
they've already done. This is like already done. Yeah.
Right. And so they wanted it, that contract was leaked, and everyone went up in arms about it. Part of that was, if any content creator made $750,000 in revenue, it would owe 25% royalties to, and I'm going to say Wasbro, Wizards of the Coast.
Wasbro.
So I'm going to say Wasbro for this.
I dig it, Wasbro.
So Wasbro. So I'm just going to clump them together.
Okay.
If you made 20%, if you did the same with a Kickstarter, you owed them 20% from the Kickstarter. If you made any content and wanted it to be, continuous, you'd have to do like a letter to Wasbro saying, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do. And it also stated that Wasbro could change the agreement at any time. I believe it was 30 days, but I don't quote me on that precisely.
Sounds
I don't
right.
remember if that is it.
That sounds right.
So people are like shitting themselves over this. It's been a huge debacle. People have been canceling their subscriptions to D&D Beyond. People are calling, writing, saying boycott everything.
Yeah.
So Dustin, what do you make of this? Like, what are your opinions? What do you think would be?
Well, I kind of gave my thoughts on it up front a little bit there. It's just, I mean, it's corporate greed. As is most things, if someone sees an opportunity to make money, that they've been missing out on money, especially a big corporation, they're going to take that, especially if they think they can legally take it. And they clearly believe they can, and looks like they're going to, which is super disappointing, especially for, I read a good article that talked about how, D&D went from this thing that was the ultimate nerd stigma to a thing that was culturally acceptable and even adopted into everyday, just like, oh, that's cool. It became cool to play D&D, not just like a nerd stigma. Stranger Things helped that, of course. A lot of things in pop culture helped that, but really the ultimate driver, I think, was during COVID, where tons of people started playing because they were bored and didn't have anything else to do. And it's really sad to see, everything always come down to money. And I can give you some insight from my perspective as a Magic player. I've been playing Magic the Gathering. That's Wizards of the Coast property. I've been playing Magic the Gathering for, let's see, at least 12 years, a little bit longer, 14 maybe, something like that, 12 to 14 years, somewhere around there. And I saw it go from, a game that everybody was really getting into and playing to a game that, oh, there's money in this, we need to start making money. And the market got oversaturated. They were mad because the after market, so like third party selling of cards and stuff like that, was making a lot of money, and they weren't seeing that revenue. So they just started printing the shit out of cards, and it really oversaturated all the formats because everybody had all these rare cards. It's not rare if everybody has it, and it's not. It really was not healthy for the game. So there's a bunch of power creep and stuff like that. And they did it because they wanted the money. They saw these comic shops and third party sellers making money, and they wanted to make that money. So, it's super disappointing. I'm not saying I'm surprised at all, because I'm absolutely not. Honestly, if anything, I'm surprised it happened this quickly. I thought maybe after the D&D movie was released, like somewhere like along next year, where they really start to see a bunch of people try to play, that they would start really, but maybe they're trying to get ahead of that now and make money from it after the movie is launched. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, with chat, John says, "Play me, bro," for Magic. So
okay. Let's play, dog.
For me, so I'm going to take the opposite standpoint.
Okay.
I'm going to start with, I am not surprised about the greed. I'm not surprised that it's shady. That is corporation. And that is something that we see on a regular basis. I mean, I can throw out tons of corporations right off the bat, and we can absolutely say that's shady and that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay? That being said, I personally don't understand why everyday users are so upset about this, because most of us, I'm going to say majority, okay? I'm just talking about majority here.
Okay.
Majority aren't making $750,000 in revenue. Majority of players are not making their own content and like building this world and creating characters and putting it out for publishing and to be used. You know what I mean? I'm saying majority of players.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I think I know why, though. I think they're afraid to see some of their favorite content creators, whether, they don't make a lot of money, I think it just cuts out the middleman. The people that are making a lot of money from making content are still going to make a lot of money. Like Critical Role, for instance.
I was going to say,
they're not going to be affected by this at all. If anything, they'll probably make more money because they're going to get more contracts from D&D to pump their content. This just cuts out the middleman. It's like the middle class getting crunched all over again. And that's exactly.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's like the majority of the time.
Yeah.
It's not being put out. I mean, Mike even said, Wasbro will never lay a hand on my precocious homebrew items. If I made homebrew stuff, and I have, but I'm not gonna like put it out for everybody to use. I want it only used at my table. That being said, I'm saying majority of DMs, majority of players, we're not making $750,000 in revenue. We're not doing Kickstarters. We're not putting out content. Even with the D&D subscriptions, like I'm going to go out on a limb here. My players are using my content that I bought. So I put in this money and I'm sharing the content and I'm giving it to them for free because they're part of my, my campaign. It's free for them. Like,
yeah, but what
they're
what
not
if
they're not even
what
they're
if
not even like spending money on
what
it.
if WoTC comes knocking and they're like, you need to pay us for that you created because you're using our property? And that's
I'm
essentially
already
where this is going, though. Like
but
if
that would be the thing, is that is content that they create. Like, if they want to say, hey, you can't share content, I think that's within their rights. I think that they do have a right to say, hey, I want royalties on this third party content. I think that 25% is outrageous.
yeah,
But I think that it is well within reason. It's a 20-year-old agreement that they're updating. Did they go about it the wrong way? Hell yeah.
yeah,
Did they like make it sus and shady? Hell yeah. Are they wrong to say, hey, we want royalty for this content that's being made because you're using our initial base for it? I don't see a problem with that. It's the same. My comparison would be this: is we argue that music creators aren't getting their share on Spotify,
okay,
right?
yeah, for sure not. Yeah,
And look at still all the users on Spotify paying in monthly because they want their music cheap.
yeah.
And at the same time, they're saying, well, they're not getting paid enough, but we're not doing anything about it, And so, like, for me, it is not affecting the day-to-day user. It is going to be affecting Critical Role, Dimension 20. Probably, I don't watch Dungeons and Daddies, but I'm going to say it's probably going to be affecting them because it sounds like a D&D thing, right?
Well,
Dungeons and Daddies.
no, I get what you're saying. It is absolutely not going to affect the everyday user. Just like, I mean, that was a good example. Just like Spotify users don't really give a shit, me included. I mean, about
Me too,
paying a
yeah.
cheap
I'm
price
still using
for a
it.
lot of music. The thing is, there is, and how I can compare where I think that a lot of users are coming from, Spotify included. I go out of my way to buy merchandise from a band I really like to support them, and that's how you really support them. Or actually buy their music like vinyl or something like that, right?
Right.
That's how that you have, if you really want to support an artist, that's what you have to do. Uh, do they still have to give royalties to the different agencies or whatever from those sales? Yes. Uh, but I think it's probably far less of a percentage than 25%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they
So
absolutely went about it the wrong way. 25% royalties, that is outrageous. 100%. Even 20% for a Kickstarter, and your average, I had to look this up just so you know, because
yeah,
I was like, am I crazy for like being on the opposite end of this? But 20% from a Kickstarter, your average Kickstarter is $25,000. Like, 20% of that, come on, like, you
yeah,
are being greedy. Wasbro is being greedy here. I
yeah.
am agreeing with people that they went about it the wrong way. However, I am going to argue that they are the creators, or they have the licensing for D&D, for all the editions.
But
Technically,
where
it's
does it stop? That's also the problem I have with it. You kind of just led me to another thought. Sorry to interrupt, but like, you have all these homebrews, right? And some people that want to make their own game that's kind of like D&D, but it isn't D&D. Well, are they gonna claim D20s and six-sided dice and stuff like that if you use that? Like, that's part of our property because we created this game. Like, how far reaching is it? And I don't know because I didn't read the full contract, but that's what I want to know is where's it going to end?
I don't think it goes as far as like creating dice and stuff like that. The open game license was for the way, I'm pretty sure it's 20-year-old contract, so that means I might be wrong, but it's going as far as third edition. Maybe 3.5 depending on like exactly what month and year we're looking at, but I'm pretty sure 3.5 is right on the cusp.
Okay.
So I'm going to just go third edition. So as far back as third edition content. And so the character sheets, how the rules are run. KOTOR. This is, it goes as far as KOTOR. KOTOR was released and used Wasbro's open game license to create KOTOR. So even they will be part of the royalties
That's
to like submit to them.
crazy. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. So it's not just Dungeons and Dragons. It goes to third-party content creators. So I think Kobold Press might be part of that. I think dungeon like learning how to play dungeons or something like that is going to be part of it. At the same time, I agree that they're wrong. I also agree that yes, they should ask for their royalties. It's outrageous. Don't get me wrong. That being said, if Hasbro wants to shoot themselves in the foot and say, "Gimme, gimme, 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 gimme," we are not, as players, as DMs, as whatever, as content creators, we are not obligated to stick with them. We can go to another tabletop role playing creator, content creator, or like game licensing. We can go to Piazzo or whatever else there is.
Clearly D&D won't die. I mean, they tried to kill it with demonic shit in the 80s and that didn't work. So if that doesn't work, then corporate greed won't kill it either. So
yeah,
what is dead may never die.
right. So I just, for me, it's I don't get the big stink. If you don't like it, yeah, cancel your subscriptions. You can do that. But also, there's other tabletop modules. There's different editions that you don't have to stick with Hasbro. You don't need to do any of that. Like, cancel it and move on.
Yeah,
that's it. Stop giving them money. If you don't like it, stop it. Otherwise, for the average player, for somebody like me,
yeah,
not doing that, I don't really give a shit. Honestly, because it's not affecting me.
I get it. The final thought I have on it is I think that the push that people are doing, like canceling their subscriptions and stuff like that, is to lay pressure. I think they're trying to make them reconsider this, which they should. So please keep doing that. If that's that's part of being in this country is let your voice be heard, and the one way you can make corporations listen is with your wallets, or lack thereof. So do what you can. If you really don't like it and you want them to change it, at least to slash some of that percentage off, because that's just insane.
It does add up.
Then do so. So that's my final thought on the subject.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Some good input there. I feel like we could talk a whole show about that. Maybe we will.
We absolutely could.
Yeah.
Because I could still keep going.
Same. And maybe we will. I'd love to have another D&D show, maybe with Dungeon Crawler Audio, and maybe we can talk about it because, maybe this affects them too. You don't know. We don't know yet. So, she went bye-bye. So, there she is again. But anyway, on that note, we're going to take a small break. And we'll be right back with Get Excited Designs. So,
okay, bye.
See you in a bit. welcome back. We have Rebecca here from Get Excited Designs. Welcome to the show, Rebecca. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, Rebecca's art caught my eye at GalaxyCon Columbus. Hopefully, there's no glare on that. Specifically, this one, the Tokyo Revengers, which I know is definitely one of your most popular. But also, I bought another one from her, which was the Spy Family one. And both of these are newer animes that are definitely some of my favorite anime. So, yeah, the Spy Family, the Minimalist, love it so much. So yeah, let's talk about you and your art. First of all, how did you get started selling art? I know it's been a relatively new thing for you, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I've always been into art. I just recently got into digital art about like a year and a half ago, and then my siblings got me to watch an anime, and then they brought me to con, which at first I was like, only nerds go to cons. Like I'm not gonna go to a Comic Con.
You're absolutely right
Um,
about that, by the way.
and then I was like, no, it'd be too weird. And then they brought me, and I was like, oh my God, I love this so much. Like this is my new favorite thing to do. And like I just got to talking to some of like the artists, and I was like, I love this. Like this looks like something that I would love to do, and like, and so I just got started making art. I started making art for anime probably last last summer, like in June or sometime, and my first con was in September. And then I just like I don't know, this is my new favorite thing to do, and I love it. And I've been able to do pretty well with it, so I don't
Hell
know.
yeah. Hell yeah.
You guys, just so those who are watching, this she is stupid talented. The promos that went up these past, not the one that just went up like an hour and a half ago,
But the
but the
past
past
week.
two that have, yeah, the past week, those smaller images that are on the promos, that's all of her work. And I do want to throw an age here. She's 20 years old. She just started this shit, and it is amazing. It is amazing.
So talented.
Justin, can
Thank you.
we start
You want me to bring it
her
up? Okay.
Instagram? Yeah.
So
This
here's some of
is
her stuff.
incredible. Rebecca has.
Let's kind of scroll through it.
I'm just mind blown. I'm mind blown from your artistry.
Thank you.
So
When
you mentioned that some of your most popular art may not even be your favorite art. So, uh, do you like doing what do you like doing the most? Do you because I know you have the stickers here, and I know you have the big prints and everything. Do you like doing
Mhm.
digital art or physical art more, and or do you just like doing the stickers more? Like what's your favorite to do?
Okay, so I actually haven't like stuck with like actual art. Like I've been doing mostly just digital since I started. Every once in a while I'll still sketch like on paper and everything. Um I do love making stickers because I have so much fun with it. Like they're just so easy to do. I like to make them like cute and stuff.
Yeah.
But my favorite kind of like prints to do, I just like taking like sceneries. Like I just think of sceneries and then like how certain characters would like act in those sceneries, like more of like slice of life things. Like with the Tokyo Revengers, just like I'm just chilling outside like a store. Like it's just stuff like that I love to do.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I just feel like you don't see enough of that stuff. And I like to try to like watch animes that a lot of people like and like make art for those for people that do like them and get excited about it. So
I love that because there's a lot of underappreciated art out there, or not art, anime out there.
mhm.
Um, and it's been such a saturated thing lately because there is so many anime, especially, because it's so popular now. So really you got in at the right time doing anime art, and I definitely probably your wallet probably thanks you for that.
yeah, I mean, I was just recently able to quit my job because of it, so I was
Hell
glad.
Wow.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And to clarify, commissions are open, correct?
Yes.
Let's
Commissions are
go.
open, everybody. Um, so before you started doing anime, did you do any sort of drawing? Were you like, did you take a little art class? Did you do like little doodles? Like, what were you doing before? And then you were like, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like really heavily involved in art. Like all throughout high school, I always took all the art classes I could. Like I've always loved it. And then for my graduation, I was gifted an iPad and a pencil. And then I just kind of went away with it. Like in
Wow.
my first year of college, I for my classes, I just did digital art whenever I could. And then I just started watching anime, and I was like, "Well, what if I drew this?" And
Wow.
then, I don't know, I just kind of went away with it. It was, I don't know, so much fun for me,
What if
so
I drew this? That's awesome.
Yeah, she's just like, what if? And then you're making it happen, and it's like,
So here's your booth
Amazing.
at a con recently that you attended. And you, as you could imagine, her booth caught my eye. I mean, just look at these. Like, how could you not just stop and be like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? Like, damn.
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
Which
still working on my booth setup, so
oh,
we'll see.
okay. Which con was this again? The one you just
That
attended
was in
recently?
St. Pete. That was just last weekend, St. Pete
Gotcha.
Comic-Con.
How was that in comparison to GalaxyCon Columbus?
It was a lot smaller, but I think because it was smaller, it was actually like better for me. I got to talk to a lot more people, like on more personal level.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I really liked GalaxyCon, but it was a long drive for me. I actually drove to GalaxyCon, and that was
Gotcha.
rough. But I had the best time at GalaxyCon. I actually, some of the voice actors I met, they commissioned me to do stuff for them, and that was
Oh, that's
the
sick.
best thing. It was awesome for me.
So who, if you don't mind, if I ask?
Aaron Dismuke, which he is the lead voice actor in Doctor Stone, which is my favorite anime.
Look at that.
Oh,
He actually licensed one of my Doctor Stone friends, and he commissioned me to do something else for him. And then Dave Matrenga, which is the voice of Shoto Todoroki in My Hero.
Yeah.
He also, he wanted to license one of my prints for Tomodachi Game, which is kind of like a lesser known anime.
I've seen it,
So,
by the way.
I love
Tomodachi
that
Game
one.
is
Yeah.
fantastic anime. One of the most underrated animes of this past year, for sure. I feel like no one talked about it. It's like Squid
one
Game.
day.
It's like Squid Game, but like on another level. I don't know how to
Like the
describe it.
stakes aren't quite as high as Squid Game, but it's like so much more psychological, and I
That's
love
my
it.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's so you said that you quit your job for this.
Yeah.
So are you?
So this is your job
aiming-
now.
Yeah, this is your job now. God, that's amazing. I can't even imagine. That's incredible for one.
What is it with artists that we get on that say they just recently quit their job to do what they do? Jen,
yeah, you don't need to rub it in our face.
Yeah, Jen Cosplay Bay, she said the same thing, and she was our first guest.
Right.
It's really scary. Like, I wasn't like, oh, this is gonna work out 100%.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the time to do what I wanted to do with it. Like, now I can feel like I can fully dedicate myself to this. And I just wasn't able to before. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so well off, like I have, all the time and money for this, but like I just knew it was a risk I needed to take if I wanted to take this further. So
I'm playing with you, but I think that is absolutely amazing. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, are you aiming to like stay to drawing anime? Are you wanting to expand? Are you starting to experiment with some other types of art? What is the future? Maybe not short term, but maybe long term. Like what would you like to see come from your art?
That's a good question. I don't really stick exclusively to anime. Like, I want to explore into like video games. I mean, I don't know if you see my shirt, but I'm a big Zelda fan.
Oh, nice.
I really wanted to get into art for that. Like, I want to expand, and I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big I love everything, and so I kind of want to expand into that. This is just where I'm starting at right now because this is kind of my like current obsession, I guess.
Mhm.
And so yeah, and eventually, like, I don't know. I'd love to expand. I mean, I want to meet other artists and maybe do like collabs with them and stuff. And I would like to start doing some more like actual canvas painting and stuff like that. Because I mean, I haven't picked up the paintbrush in so long, and I have so much art.
You talk about collabs, and my mind is running wild right now. Like, I know so many people, and like I feel like, oh god dang. All right, I'm gonna have to talk to you after this. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Wow. I love that. Well, I am following you, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens. If I had the extra monies, I would do it right now, and I would be like, commission me a piece.
No, you're
Later, it will happen later.
No, you're fine.
But that's incredible. I mean, God, a year and a half, and you're like, I'm here. I love that. I love that.
So, were you nervous when you met the voice actor for Dr. Stone?
Oh, for sure. I've actually met him several times.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, I love him. At GalaxyCon, I met him like 4 different times. I'm pretty sure he was like really annoyed with me at that point. He was like, "Go away." But like at first I went to meet him because I got my print signed, and then he came to my table and I missed him. I was so upset.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I went and found him again, and I was like, "Oh, you want me? You want my stuff? Here's all this." And then I went and found him later again for another question. So yeah, I every single time I've met him, I've been nervous. That's all. Every time I meet a voice actor, it's insane. I'm like, I want to tell you that I'm not weird without being weird about it.
Yeah. So I've done several interviews like with voice actors and celebs and stuff. I do press at conventions, and there's only been 2 times I've been like shell shocked nervous during an interview, and one was Chris Sabat, who does the voice of Vegeta.
Oh, he's awesome.
But funny thing about him is I've run into him at other conventions, and I've actually interviewed him twice now. Once on a phone at a conference, but that's another story.
Mhm.
And I bumped into him at in the lobby of like at the Louisville convention, and I was like just gonna let him go because he just got there, and he's like, "Oh, hey man," and he like recognized me. And then from that point on,
Awesome.
I kind of stopped getting shell shocked about celebs because I was like, oh, they're just people. Like, and I go up to him now at shows and like we dap up and everything. Like he's a really cool guy. So that's pretty cool though. Like it's pretty cool meeting like an idol, you know. Uh,
Mhm.
but so about conventions, because again, I do press at conventions, so I've been to a lot, and
Mhm.
I'm going to continue to do so. From your perspective as an artist, what are some of your favorite things about going to conventions, and some of your least favorite things about going to conventions?
Honestly, like this isn't even just like me talking, but my favorite thing about conventions is just like meeting someone that will like geek out with me, like what up to the point where I'm like standing up at my table, just being like, "Yes, you understand it." Like that's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite thing. Like even just a good conversation makes my day. Like just even if you don't want to come, you're not interested in my stuff, just come up and talk to me. It's so awesome. I love it. It's not very often I get to talk to people like that have the same interests as me. And my least favorite thing about conventions is just it's very stressful to get into them. It's very competitive. And like I
Oh, you
mean
went.
like the, you know,
Okay, never mind. Your audio went
oh,
out for a
again?
second.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Most other artists are really supportive and like they're there to help you. And then there's some artists that only see you as competition. And so it's kind of hard to like I don't know how to deal with those ones as much because like I just want to be friends with them because like I want to ask them questions. I want like to talk about things. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard when it's just like a competition for everyone, which it makes sense. It is
Yeah,
very competitive, but
for sure. Chat, sound off. What questions you got for Rebecca? I know there's some people in here that have some good questions for her. So, uh, one other question I have is for, and I always like to ask this about any facet of art or like just entertainment and people in the biz. Like what recommendations would you give to someone just starting out? Since you're just starting out, like what kind of advice would you give those kind of people?
I feel like it's important for a lot of artists to know that like no matter where you start out, no matter what level you are when you start out, like to do this, like you're always going to improve. Because like a lot of times I see other artists like, oh my God, like they're so much better than me. Like I'll never get to that point. But then like I talked to a few other artists about this and I'm like, you need to remember that like no matter where you are, you're going to improve as long as you keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I follow some artists that are just starting out and I always try to like talk to them like, hey, like your art is awesome. Like you're gonna get noticed. You just like need to remember that you're gonna get better. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's important to know that. So
Yeah, last week we had on a good friend of mine, Ray Kaufman, who wrote the story Aurora, and he was talking about how his art in his first book, he looking back on, he's like, God, this is shit. And like in the second book, he said he just improved so much, and like I think it's all great because I used to love his art back before he even started writing. But it's just funny, like you mentioned that, and then he was just talking about that,
Mm-hmm.
like you're gonna see progression in anything you do if you keep at it. So
I mean,
Yep.
yeah, I go back through some of my art and I'm like, what was I thinking when I did this? And I was
yeah.
like, what choice did I make? It's only been a few months and I'm already seeing that.
But
And it's I don't know.
at the time you were proud of it, I'm sure, and like
Yeah.
that's something to not forget either. I think is like
Mhm.
be proud of what you do, but
Mm-hmm.
always look to improve, right?
I want to ask, literally completely off the wall, and I want to talk about your wall, that green. Have you? Hold on. Just hear me out before. I'm not making fun of it. I want to know. Have you gotten like a camera or something, and like the green screens, and like you can change the background It looks like that green. So I want to know if you've done that.
No, this is actually not my home. So this is not my wall.
Okay.
This is not my home. This is not my wall.
No, I am actually visiting a friend right now, out of state, and so this is just a random room. My room is a mess of posters and a bunch of nerdy stuff.
Nerd Bites Weekly guests do their interviews wherever the hell they want. You remember that?
That's true. You do whatever the hell you. Well, then at some point, maybe after the show, ask your friend if they do the whole camera stuff and like add whatever background they want, because it looks like it could be a CGI wall, and I want to know. Yeah, I want to see something.
I'm gonna insert myself into a movie poster here.
You should. You 100% do it. Like if it looks like the right green.
Kat Soren's just excited because she loves frogs and it reminds her of frogs. So.
It's true. I love frogs. I see green, I go frog.
Forg. John in the chat, #1 fan of the show, asks, which piece is the one you are most proud of?
Ooh.
Let me think. I feel like it changes like every week. The one I was pretty proud of most recently was, it's on my page, the Attack on Titan one. It's like a cyberpunk one. They're doing a robot fight with the Titans as robots.
See if I can
And
find
that one I thought was pretty clever. Not many people look at it enough to know what it is, but I was pretty proud of that one. As well as the Tokyo Revengers one. I just really like doing like the neon vibe.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
I love your mosaic pieces too. My boy Bobby.
Oh my god, those mosaic pieces are.
My boy Bobby was with me and he bought one of those from you. The Akatsuki one. I don't know if you remember that or not. He's with shouts out to Parlapod. He does press with them at cons. He's one of my really good friends.
No joke, I literally remember like everyone that comes to my table.
Do you?
Like, people like, do you remember me? Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I do remember you. I swear.
You have an eidetic memory or some shit?
Like, if I have like any sort of conversation with them, like it sticks with me pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
There was people that come up, like there was at GalaxyCon, there was a group of people and like they were cosplaying as different people every day, but they kept coming up to my table and like, you probably don't remember. Like, no, like they were like, they kept coming back to my table just to talk. It was so awesome. Like, of course I remember you. Like, like we had fun.
Like this. I love this. The cityscape. Like,
oh, I do like that one. I do like doing a lot of like the landscape.
Yeah, those are sick. I like those.
That one has gained popularity. I actually sold out of that one and just had to get some restocks for that. So.
Nice. And then this one, of course, the Naruto ramen shop one. Yeah. Very, very good. I'm trying to see. Did you say the Attack on Titan one was on your page?
I think it's near the top. That was one of the most recent ones I've done.
Let's see.
I don't know if I have a
I looked at your page and those mosaic like glasswork pieces, I think those are my favorite, man. Those are so cool. And it looks so intricate, like when you zoom in and you're like, okay, it's like, like maybe one color, and then you start zooming out and it gets I don't know, it just gets so cool when you like zoom in and then start zooming out of it. Like, dude. Yeah.
My boy Mike in the chat asks, what's the most difficult piece you've created?
The most difficult. Okay. Well, there's a few different levels to that because I'm thinking of the one that took me the longest. I don't know if it's the most difficult, but the one that took me the longest was the Genshin Impact one. It's a mosaic one as well. It's like stained glass and it has like as many characters as I could fit. It took me like 40 hours. That one was killer. But the most difficult one that I've done, I have a hard time like being satisfied with the way I draw hair. So any that have hair in them is probably the most difficult one. Like that have like detailed hair. Okay. I'm working on one right now actually, and one of the characters has long hair and it's killing me. So.
Sounds like you just get bored with like the monotonous part of it.
What is that one character from One Punch Man? The main character, One Punch Man?
Saitama.
You would love drawing him.
I should draw Saitama, yes. It would be my dream.
Yeah. All right. So real quick here before I let you go, let everyone know where they can find you and if any conventions you're going to be at that you know of coming up where they can come buy art from you and also where they can order art from you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm on Instagram, getexciteddesigns, also on TikTok, same name. And then my next conventions, I have one next month in Savannah and Amazing Con.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Atlanta at Atlanta Comic Convention.
Go Braves.
And then, yeah, and then I'm gonna be at Collective Con, which is in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And then to find my art, the link should be in my bio on my Instagram. But it's if you could just also look up getexciteddesigns.com, and then my website is there.
Badass. Awesome. Well, I love your art so much, and thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate having you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on again. We like having recurring guests. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Agreed. I want to know about that wall.
Follow up and see if I did a green screen on the wall.
Yeah, I want to know about it.
Well, I posted her Instagram in the chat, so everyone go give her a follow and buy her shit.
Thank you.
For real. And remember, commissions are open for her.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all for our show tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in the chat, and for Rebecca here for joining us as well. And Ketsoran, as always, thank you for doing this with me. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Bye, guys.